Greetings nerds, ladies and gentle people. I am Sebastian Coburg, this is GGvision number 9. And this is a very special, extended episode focusing on Dreamhack 2010, looking at my favorite picks for the top 4 and for the ultimate winner, and the awesomeness they will bring to the table. Dreamhack, for those of you who do not know, is of course the world's largest LAN event there is, and has been so for years. It's been going on since the 90s. Thousands of nerds, not only from Sweden where it takes place, but from all over the world, comes there just to geek out and enjoy esports. That's of course what we're talking about here, since Dreamhack has been hosting some of the very best events in a variety of esports, including StarCraft Brood War since its inception, and now of course for the first time StarCraft 2. The prize pool is, quite frankly, humongous. Just looking at what the website says here. For first prize, the winner will get a sum equivalent to almost $10,000 some very swanky hardware, giving you the geek chills just there. First runner-up gets almost $3,000 plus similarly awesome computer gear, and then almost $2,000 moving on from there. And when it comes to the players, there's nothing less than the world elite. Today we'll be looking at my 4 picks for the top 4 and the ultimate winner, but just looking at some of the names here. MaDFroG, the grandpa toss from Ukraine, is joined by DIMAGA, who is one of my top favorites, a SerG player, also from the Ukraine. MaDFroG, one of the very best Terrans in Europe, probably the best Terran in Sweden. SerG and Terran, to be precise. He's a definite contender. The little one, and NonY, Tyler, from Team Liquid of course, flying in. We have Inca, Phoenix, Sock, Show, Liquid Huck, Nama, Tarson, Luciferon, the Muslim, MaDFroG. Now you should look out for him. Scruff, Eli, Adelscott, NTT, Lalush, and the list goes on. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to be there and enjoy the awesomeness. I'm sure many of you watching will be as well. It's going to be epic. And I will definitely return to that next week in other broadcasts. But today we're going to look at what I predict to be the 4 most fearsome players. No diss to the others. These are just the ones that I believe will have a very strong showing and that will have a very likely chance to reach the final, to force themselves there. Starting off with none other than DIMAGA, the Ukrainian SerG hammer. He is of course a veteran SerG player from Brood War. He's been present in the scene for years and years, and ever since the beta began early 2010, he's been ever present and often very dominating. He plays a power swarm kind of SerG. There's no messing around. It's all about brute force, but combined with a key ability of making the right decisions at the right time. He expands like the bubonic plague, but without being in any way a passive macro playing SerG. He does so in an offensive way and nothing else. His micromanagement is nothing less than elite, but at the same time I would say that he does not rely on cute tricks or unorthodox moves comparable to what we perhaps would expect from the little one. DIMAGA is a straight up SerG and then some, with diesel poured on top of it. It's brute force straight from the Ukraine, and he's destined for the top 4. You don't believe me? Well, just check it out.
The rocks now have been destroyed, and Mers is starting to siege up those tanks. Gonna walk those Marines up towards the main, and DIMAGA has nothing. Is he gonna bring his forces in? Here comes a couple of Mutalisks just to pick off the first Marine. But the tank is shelling those spine crawlers, and right now DIMAGA needs banelings. He needs them really, really bad. If he could get one wish out of a bottle, a genie, he would wish for more banelings. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like he's making all that many. Come on, banelings, come on, banelings. DIMAGA here has allowed his spine crawlers to die. He's morphing in 3 more, it looks like, but his extractor in danger of going down. Here we go. DIMAGA coming in from the north, trying to pick off this tank. He will pick off the tank at the cost of one Mutalisk, and I think that is very much worth it. That's going to halt the advance of the Terran army, but Mers, relentless as ever, continuing to push forward. He has reinforcements coming as well. The Marines here potentially could do a lot of damage. First-person player cam of Mers right here. He is pretty much just focused on this attack, whereas DIMAGA is trying to get his army situated. He's trying to get enough banelings. Is he going to have enough to deal with this? Mers is now on the high ground. He's killed off the extractor. No more mining going on 2 of the mineral patches, and DIMAGA is just desperately trying to use his Mutalisk to halt this advance, picking off turret, picking off bunker, trying to slow down the Terran whenever possible. Looks like he will pick off a tank that was reinforcing, so that is very, very good. And I like this play from DIMAGA. He's going to use his Mutalisk to pick off all the reinforcing units. This is extremely smart. Because this Terran ball will not get to that huge critical mass where it becomes impossible to deal with. Here comes the Banelings though. The Banelings have to focus down the Marines, and it looks like they do just that. All the Marines get taken out. A couple of tanks remain. I think these Mutas, after picking off that turret, should be able to clean off the tanks very easily. Tank gets picked off. These Marines going for a stim job. And I think they killed off quite a few drones. But DIMAGA, great macro.
Now that was DIMAGA, a very distinct style of playing Zerg, like a Mongolian horde sweeping through your base. Now moving on to also another Zerg player, a fellow countryman of mine, a Zerg known as MaDFroG. He is of a different kind. He plays like only MaDFroG does. He's an old Warcraft 3 professional years back, dominated that scene back then pretty much disappeared. And during the StarCraft 2 beta, he practiced in secret, owned his skills, but did not take part, as far as I'm aware, in any major tournaments or made his presence overtly known. And then, at IEM Cologne, Intel Extreme Masters, that took place in Cologne, Germany in August, he was suddenly there playing a show match, where other players like TLO, Moro and Nada from Korea also competed, and there he unveiled his Zerg skills and has been staying on top of the European ladder ever since. I believe he plays for SK Gaming and is a sponsored pro gamer, globally recognized for his skills. His style of playing Zerg is offensively massive, perhaps not too different from DIMAGA in that sense, but very different in the way that everything he does has a distinctly MaDFroG stamp on it. His strategies, I would say, are personally developed based on the current metagame as such, but definitely with his own very twist. A very intelligent player, a very offensive and aggressive player, but also deeply cunning. Watch and behold.
So we are getting infantry weapons and armor level 2. However, there is going to be infestors here, which are the direct counter to those Marines. That Baneling minefield is not going to work. They unburrow to try and get away. And it looks like these Marines have stayed up. Here comes the Banelings right now, though. Trying to blow up the Marines. They're in perfect position there. Taking about a half that army, possibly more because of that poor micro there from Tarson as he ran right into that. Tarson saying, wow. And that really wasn't Baneling in balance. That was him getting mass Marine against Baneling. And really, Tarson needs to spread out his tanks like crazy. That is exactly what he needs to do so that they can kill these Banelings. That's what he is doing right now. He is leapfrogging sort of these tanks right now, and this battle is going to be out of control here as the units are now set up. MaDFroG going to, looks like he's running out to try and do a counterattack. One fungal growth on top of these Marines, and I think it would be wise for MaDFroG just to counterattack here and force Tarson in a defensive position, which is exactly what happened. It looks like MaDFroG wanted to run down here, and a couple of tanks are left behind. They are going to get taken out by these Zerglings as well as Mutas, although the Mutas are unwisely flying into these Marines, but here comes the Banelings. One fungal growth on top of these Marines. One Baneling could easily take that out, although the Mutas look like they're going to come in here and clean this up. There we go, Banelings as well. So Tarson needs to make something happen. He either needs a ghost to EMP these infestors, or he needs to get battlecruisers or something of the sort, because the army he has right now is so vulnerable to this mass Baneling and for MaDFroG. So he is back in this. Here comes the Fungal Growth on top of this entire army. Banelings are just going to mow down that entire army. Wow, that was bad positioning there by Tarson. Really well here. So here comes the battle right here. Big fungal growth on top of these Marines. Here come the Banelings. The positioning is pretty good for the Zerg player. I don't know if he has enough to kill his entire army, but he did fungal growth right here as well on top of all of these units. They are now going to be in the red, including those medevacs.